If you went into the YouTube search bar and typed in the phrase, "consoles are better than PC," you would get a whole plethora of different results. Most of those results would actually be reasons why the PC is better than console. And amongst all of the benchmark videos and screenshot comparison videos, there are legitimate videos made by legitimate channels who truly believe the console is better than the PC and who have made videos attempting to prove this so. Jagged Gaming is one such channel, named after the frame rate consistency of his Xbox One. Haha, aren't I clever? One such video that this gentleman has put out there for all to enjoy is the appropriately named Why Consoles Are Better Than PC. In this video, he attempts to show why the Xbox One is superior to the PC. And he does so in such stupid ways that I swear he must be trolling, though based on the rest of his videos and the history of his uploads, I have no reason to actually believe he's trolling. I think he is legitimately a moron. New video every 3 days! I mean, it's been 2 months since your last upload. But that's irrelevant. What is relevant is the video in question, so without further ado, let us dive right into this pile of filth and rip it apart.
Subscribe, please.
That didn't sound like asking. That sounded like begging.
Hey, hello guys,
And if you're a woman watching this, well, fuck you.
Jagged Gaming here, and today's video is on why gaming on Xbox One is better than gaming on PC. So, I'm sure there's you PC Master Race people already typing hate comments saying PC is better than Xbox One, but I'm here to disprove that.
Proof. Proof. How many console fanboys have said they're going to prove their console superiority to the PC? It doesn't matter if you're a 15-year-old child on the internet who doesn't think that autism is real, or if you're just the plain old-fashioned kind of stupid, because there ain't no fixin' stupid. Either way, it hasn't been done yet.
So, as most of you already know, hopefully, PC is more powerful most of the time. But most of the time you see graphics on an Xbox One matching PC running on ultra settings.
Hang in there now, it gets better.
So why is this? Since developers only have to work on one single platform, so the Xbox One, they can optimize games on the Xbox One better. They have to optimize a game.
When I first watched this video, I couldn't help but notice that as he's talking about the Xbox One's great optimization, we watch him getting into a fight with some other player, and then, as a grenade goes off, the frame rate just tanks like a stone. This is pathetic for multiple reasons. The first reason is that this is an Xbox One. It came out in November of 2013. It hasn't even been 2 years since this thing was released. Not even 2 years, and already in multiplayer games, when you're getting into a fight with somebody, frame rate will take an absolute nosedive. This is unacceptable in first-person shooter games. The last thing that your game needs to do is to experience massive frame rate drops when you're trying to shoot somebody else. And reason number 2, and perhaps the biggest reason, is that this is Halo. Halo 1. Halo Combat Evolved 1. Halo Combat Evolved that released in 2001. 2001. This game is 14 years old. You're telling me a current-gen system, an Xbox One with all of its optimization, can't run a 14-year-old game without its frame rate tanking because a grenade went off? And this is Halo. Grenades are a thing in Halo. They're going off all the time. Want me to pull up the PC requirements for this game so you could see them? Well, wish motherfucking granted. Pulled straight from support.microsoft.com, here are the minimum system requirements for Halo Combat Evolved, aka the first one. These are what the system requirements are for a game that came out in 2001. And a console that came out in 2013 can't run them without frame drops when a grenade blows up? My Mazda's key fob can run this game. I could put this disc in my toaster and it would run this game. I could give this game to a quadruple amputee coated in Vaseline and he could still run this game.
On hundreds of PCs for PC, there's the crappy PCs, there's the super expensive gaming PCs, there's the mid-high-end PCs, So the developers have to make the game work on all of those PCs,
You know, I don't think you know what DirectX is or what it does.
which makes the engine need a lot more horsepower to run. So you're going to need more power to run those PC games, since they need to be optimized for all those PCs.
I don't think you know anything about anything that you're talking about.
However, with Xbox One, the developers only have to optimize for one single platform. So that way, they can make the frames per second better.
Frames per second run better than what? Better than they were before? Surely you don't mean they can get better than a PC's. Or maybe you do and you're just an idiot.
They can make it need less power to run.
Okay, now I think you're referring to power as electrical power. As in power supply unit power. And I think for 99.9% of gamers, this is a non-issue.
And that's why you see games on Xbox One look almost the same as games running on ultra settings on PC. So you probably don't believe me. I'm going to show a screenshot right now of this happening on Tomb Raider. So just compare this, and you're going to see there's no difference at all, almost. And this is a PC running on ultimate settings. So as you can see, the Xbox One looks almost identical to PC.
No, absolutely not. No to everything that you've just said. There is no way, no possible way, based on the hardware that an Xbox One has, hardware that stutters when a grenade goes off in Halo 1, that the Xbox One has graphics that are comparable and equal to a PC on Ultra. And this isn't even going into the frame rates, okay? That's leaving that by the wayside. And no, this isn't a matter of, it's just subjective, or that's just how I see it. No, absolutely not. Do not pull that card out. It is not applicable here. You are not allowed. It's just like when people say 30 frames per second is just as good or better than 60 frames per second, when objectively, that is incorrect. It cannot be debated that a lower frame rate is better. And in just the same way, you can't say a lower resolution is better graphics when there are more pixels on the screen to display the images. But that's neither here nor there. Where did you get this image? What is it from? Can you link us to a source? Can you show us what settings the PC was on? But I'll bet you pulled this from Digital Foundry's video because it's the first image that pops up on Google for Tomb Raider PC vs Xbox One. And if you went to Digital Foundry's video, you would see that the Xbox One is not only locked at 30 frames a second, not only in gameplay but in cutscenes as well. You can clearly see that it's using the Definitive Edition graphics as opposed to the regular edition, and the PC still looks better.
And you might be saying, oh no, PC, look, this speck of dirt isn't on Xbox One. Please consider, this is a PC with a 770 that costs, I think about $1,200 to make.
Yep, the GTX 770 cost Nvidia $1,200 to make. I mean, you can buy these things used for less than $200. But even if you bought them new, I'm fairly certain that it's not a productive business model for you to sell things at a lower price than what it costs to make them. It just boggles the mind how every time one of these console fanboys makes this Xbox One is better than PC, PlayStation is better than PC, console is better than PC, absolutely no thought goes into it. There is no research done, there is no investigating, there is nothing. All it would take is one goddamn Google search and you'd be able to find out that obviously it doesn't take $1,200 to make a GTX 770. If you think it does, well, you're a fool. Nvidia is not going to sell a card for a fourth or a third of its production price.
While the Xbox One costs $350.
Which is overpaying.
Yeah, the Xbox One is 1/3 the price, and yet the graphics look almost identical. So what does that tell you?
That you're an idiot?
That tells you that the graphics on PC aren't that different from the graphics on an Xbox One. And yet you're still paying an extra $700 to play on PC. I just find that kind of dumb. But on to the next point. We've all heard the PC Master Race people say games on Steam are less expensive than an Xbox One. So, this is true as of now, but this is changing very quickly. So, as more people buy Xbox Ones and there are more digital sales on Xbox One, more sales are going to happen more often. And even now, sales on Xbox.
Hold up. I mean, dear God, you are the worst fucking Halo player, possibly in the known universe. It's nothing to do with the point or the video. I'm just throwing that out there because it's painful to watch you.
One are almost equivalent in price to sales on Steam. For example, Murdered Soul Suspect went on sale on Steam about a week ago for $20, and I think it was about a month ago, it was on sale on Xbox One for $25. That's a $5 difference. And if you're saying, oh, $5 is a lot, why'd you waste an extra $700 on a PC that gives you almost nothing extra?
So, Jagged Gaming, did it never occur to you, now just hear me out on this, did it never occur to you that maybe in a video that you make about why the Xbox One is better than the PC, maybe it wouldn't be a good idea to bring up that there is a game that is cheaper on the PC than it is on the Xbox One? Because, and I mean, I'm no expert or anything, but it just seems to me that would sort of be like an objective reason why the PC would be better, because this game is cheaper on it. Now, I'm not saying I'm absolutely correct on that, but you think a GTX 770 takes $1,200 to make, so chances are I am actually right.
Anyway, I think there's no reason to buy a PC unless you want 4K with 300 frames per second.
Or just, well, 1080p 60 frames a second.
Because the experience on an Xbox One is almost the same for 1/3 the price. So there's not really a point to buy a PC right now. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
Yes. Let's wrap everything that we've said up to this point with a neat little "it's my opinion" bow. Just because you have an opinion, especially one like this, that doesn't mean you should go around proclaiming it to the world. I mean, I think people who are fat should pay higher premiums for their health care because since they're fat, they have a higher chance of contracting health problems that'll make prices for everyone else go up because we have to kind of pool in and pay for that shit. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go into a crowded convention hall and scream it at the top of my lungs because I don't want to get sat on by a fat person.
Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and leave hate comments down below. And yeah, Jagged Gaming out.
So let's wrap up everything all nice and neat here. 1, don't beg people to subscribe to you. I mean, especially at the beginning of the video before you've actually said anything. Or maybe that's just the effect that console pre-order culture has brought out in you. Seriously, that was really pathetic. That was pathetic.
Subscribe, please.
I mean, you don't even show how many subscribers you have. Whatever, doesn't matter. Back to the points. Sub 1080p, sub 60 frames per second is not optimization. Learn what DirectX is. Also, do a little bit of research before you say a graphics card takes $1,200 to make. Seriously, just basic research. Just Google searches. If I am ever, even in the slightest bit, in the dark about something, or if I'm not entirely sure about something, I Google it, I look it up, I find a source. Plus, if I ever use something like, a screenshot from either a website or someone else's video, I always link back to that video. I always give credit. If you're trying to convince me of something, then give me the tools to follow through on what you've said. Don't make it difficult for me, as the listener, to find out where you got your information. Or did you never graduate high school? Also, get good at Halo, scrub. Seriously, I mean, you suck. That's awful. I don't think you killed one person in that whole video. I mean, you did awful. That was terrible. Like, it was cringe-worthy bad. Like, if there were Halo cringe compilations, you should be in there. You should be the headliner. because you're awful at Halo. That's terrible. You did horrible. You didn't do anything right. I mean, fuck. That was some of the worst display of Halo-manship I've ever seen. I mean, like, why even use that footage? Why did you save that footage? I mean, you clearly recorded yourself playing that game of Halo, and we're like, you know what? I'm gonna save this and use it in a video. I mean, you didn't do anything. You just died, and then you died and died and died, and you shouldn't have died. It was nothing but you getting shot and us looking at your dead body. None of what we saw should have been posted online. It was absolutely pathetic. I mean, you're worthless in Halo. You're terrible. That's awful. And Halo was like the first game I ever played, so this is almost like personal to me. You're terrible. But anyway, I think I've spent enough time talking about your stupid ass. So, ciao. See you later. I mean, fuck me sideways in the asshole. You are the worst Halo player I have ever seen. I mean, you should change your name from Jagged Gaming to Free Kills.